Good morning, gorgeous souls. Happy Thursday. I hope you're having a really great week. So first of all, if you haven't seen, we are doing a free challenge right inside this private Facebook group. For the whole of September, we're doing a Sober Curious challenge, perfect for you, whether you're drinking less, you're working towards none, or you're already sober, alcohol-free, whatever words you love to use, and you want to stay on track. And together we're building our on-track days. And on-track means something different to each of us. It's very personal. So on-track could mean you are drinking a certain number of drinks. Perhaps you're not drinking at all. This is for you wherever you are in your journey, on your journey, in your journey. It's a real in thing, isn't it? Now today I'm doing this free training today. We're normally live here every single week together anyway, this time on a Thursday. Make sure it's in your calendar, then you're not going to miss anything exciting. By the way, all past trainings are in the guide section. I think it's guide 1. All of the fresh new content for this year is there, so you can go back and watch those replays. And then all of the content that we are doing every day for our free challenge, we started on Monday this week on the 1st. Everything there is in guide 2. Now make sure that you are keeping up with the challenge. It's really, really simple. It's easy to implement. It's designed for busy lifestyles. But actually I do want you to be taking even just 10 minutes a day just to carve out some time to really get clear on what you're creating, where you want to be going, where you want to be creating positive change, and why it's important for you. Now this is going to be available in guide 2. I'm going to keep it there until the 5th of October, so you'll have a few days after the challenge to watch everything, and then it's all going away. And of course I will be inviting you into the next little step forward for you. I'm going to be talking about that soon, so you can get some deeper support. But for today, I am sharing with you something brand new. I've never shared this before. It literally popped into my mind the other day, and it's sort of something I was aware of, but it hadn't sort of come together. So I'm going to share this with you, and this is really going to change not only your journey to alcohol freedom, but also remembering that alcohol freedom is actually only about 10% not drinking. And the rest of it is learning how to live alcohol free, learning how to live with emotional regulation, taking responsibility, learning to live life, moving through our triggers and being present. And it's doing the deeper work, the body work, teaching the nervous system, creating safety within. It's a real unfolding healing journey, and we've got to be in it for the long haul. So we do need tools and resources to help us through this. So this is part of what I'm sharing for the challenge. Again, come and join the challenge. Anyone can join. It's free. All the posts are in this group, guide 2. Just start from day 1. Follow along and share. Please post, please comment, please share what's on your heart, share your experience, share your inspiration. People have been sharing some incredible things, some really personal things that can feel really vulnerable. I know what it's like, and it's so powerful because it releases for the sharer, and it gifts for the reader, for the listener, because it helps them to feel less alone. And they can learn. We can learn of one another. Okay, so let's crack on with this tool. Now, before I share the tool, this is part of a whole process. So one of the big stumbling blocks that we come across all of the time, so this isn't just in our alcohol-free journey, I'm now on a sugar freedom journey, but it's about life. It's about, and this is where the wellness tree comes in, because the wellness tree is actually a root system and a template for us all in how to set up our different life areas, where to focus, and we're toe dipping around this in the challenge. But we need to know how to do these things and not reach back for the wine or the beer or whatever the thing is, if that's the habit that we're wanting to release. And what happens is we do this thing where we're going about our days, we are doing the things that we need to be doing, getting up, looking after the children, looking after the home, the pets, the loved ones, going to work, whether that's our own business or going to our jobs, giving all day. Our mind is very much away and doing lots of other things. And then very often we are not taking care of our mind, of our energy, of how we're feeling, of our state. And gradually as we go through our day, we are feeling really depleted and we come home feeling exhausted. And maybe before we even get home, we're stopping at the shop, we're grabbing that bottle of wine. Maybe we're even thinking about it at lunchtime, thinking, I just can't wait to get home and just release, just press pause, just escape from the noise, the chatter, the stress, the demands and things. And I really get it, because that was me. I was in that place for so long and I felt really unhealthy. I felt tired, exhausted, bloated, blobby, yuck. And I wasn't sleeping, I was grumpy all the time, I was feeling really depleted. And drop me a yes in the comments if you understand, if you are going through that too, or if you're actually on track. Tell me if you're on track, tell me about a little about you, about whereabouts you are, whether you are currently drinking, you're working less to none, whether you've already made that step, whether you're already on your journey. Just share a little, if you would love to, about where you are. And then I'm going to show you actually how to use this tool, and it's a process. And so the first part is we really need to be aware. We need to train our brains to become aware of our state as we go throughout our day. And so this is where I really encourage my clients to have routines in place. So things like a morning routine, something really simple to set you up for the day, an afternoon routine and an evening routine. Now, we don't need to get into those now, but what we do need to do is to start building awareness in baby steps of just checking in with ourselves as we go throughout our day. And I recommend hourly, really, really regularly. And why do we want to do this? Well, here's why. We as humans very often run on autopilot, and we're just almost losing consciousness of how we're feeling, because we're in our heads so much. We're trying to think about things, we're trying to remember things, we're trying to get to places, we're having conversations, and we're sort of out of our bodies, we're out of our being. And what we want to do is train ourselves that yes, we need to be doing these things, but also we need to be checking back in with ourselves. How am I feeling? Is there anything I need right now? Like today, we're on day 4 in our challenge, and today's topic is nourishment. And this is where we are really wanting to nourish ourselves, not just about food and staying hydrated and things like that, but also, are we resting, even just for a couple of minutes, sitting with tea, going outside, just breathing in some fresh air, just going for a little walk, just taking that time out to rest, to recharge. Don't underestimate the power of mini habits. Super, super powerful. And this is really about us taking care of ourselves. And we easily forget this. This is something that took me ages to learn, and I still forget to do it. I'm not perfect at this at all. And what happens is, if we don't do this, we start to drift. I call it the drift. And the drift happens. The drift is basically us wandering away from ourselves without really realizing it. Like a branch that's fallen off a tree and it's overhanging the river, and the river starts to carry the branch. Actually, the branch wanted to stay on the tree, but it's been carried further down the river. So it's a bit like that. I call it the drift. And we start drifting. We start losing focus. We start losing focus because we're distracted, because of life's demands, or usually this is rooted in a feeling and an emotion that we have. So it could be we're feeling bored, we're feeling tired, we're looking for that dopamine hit and we're checking our phones, or we're feeling stressed, we're carrying a lot, it's feeling a lot. Sometimes it's these really big feelings and emotions, and they take a lot of energy for us to hold. And the body naturally wants to release. Animals do this in the wild. They won't hold on to these strong things. That's why they shake. They shake. An animal in the wild will shake off a fight. It will shake off anger or aggression or something, or stress. If you ever shout at a dog, not that I recommend you do, but notice the dog will very often shake afterwards, because its system isn't designed to hold it. It's not good for the animal to hold it. Same with us. Same with us. But we tend to hold it. And this is when we end up with this, what I call the pressure cooker syndrome, where we're holding a lot, we're carrying a lot. We start to feel resentful. We start to feel a bit bitter. We start to feel it's not fair. And then you'll notice you'll get these thoughts coming up. It's not fair. This feels hard. Sobriety, not drinking feels dull and boring. I'm sick of this. I'm fed up with this. And then we will switch. We will make a choice. Maybe it's an unaligned choice that we decide to drink. This happened to me so many times. We can call it self-sabotage. And instead of working through that, which feels so hard to do, we make the decision to drink. And for a moment, we might feel, a bit rebellious. We're like, I don't care, just I'm having that wine, I don't care, I'll start Monday. And we feel a little bit better about ourselves because we're promising ourselves another fresh start on Monday. But do you find, like most people, like most grey area drinkers, we end up back in this cycle? I'll start Monday, and then Monday comes, and it's like all this energy to get back on track. We get back on track for a few days, and then the same cycle starts again, and it's this boredom, this tiredness, this stress, this rebellion, the monotony of routine, of being healthy, and it feels a bit dull, boring. So this is where I love to do the deeper work. You see, we need to get deeper into these roots, okay? This is a journey, but it's about shifting our perspective. It's about showing up with the right attitude. So we have some brain training to do. We also have a lot of body training to do. In the free challenge, we are toe dipping into this so that I can give you an idea of how the wellness tree is set up to support you, how you can toe dip around, how you can start to create a plan that feels really good for you. You're going to feel inspired, you're going to get some ideas. So anyway, I'm wandering away from my notes here. Let me come back. And literally, we are noticing when we start to drift. And we are noticing the thoughts in our brain. So let's say, for example, you're driving home from work, or you've had a long day on back-to-back client Zoom calls, for example, and you're like, right, I just need to have that wine. I need to just get this out of my system. Now here is a moment, it's an opportunity, because this might be the very pattern that you're in or that you've been in that you want to break. We need to catch the drift. So here is the opportunity. Now, if we don't catch the drift, we can end up back into that cycle of drinking, and it's just not, it's unaligned, it doesn't feel good. It feels like a flop. Well, that was a flop. Now remember this word flop, because this is the new tool I'm going to teach you. And I'm going to teach you how you can turn a flop into a success. Because flops often feel like big failures. And this can be one of the reasons why we stop trying, why we just don't continue. We think it's too hard, we're scared of failure. Well, let's talk about this, because I want you to start practicing to catch the drifts when you notice your mind wandering, so that they don't become a flop, but you stay on track. And if it does become a flop, you're going to love this tool. So this is like a catch and manage tool. So you can use a flop before it becomes a flop, and you can use a flop when it really is a flop. Here's what I mean. So flop is an acronym, F-L-O-P. And I highly recommend you write this down, rewatch the video, write it down, because flop stands for this. It stands for failure is the F, lessons is the L, the O stands for opportunity, and the P stands for practice. So it's failure, lessons, opportunity, practice. So let's go through these quickly. Failure, big failure. It feels like a failure. I failed. Why even bother? The failures don't feel good. Okay, gorgeous soul, we need to reframe failure, because failure, it's not the end, it's actually the start, it's actually what we need to work through, because failure is feedback. Now, all top athletes, the elite performers in their industries, they need to be okay with failure. They know that every failure is a stepping stone to their greatness. They need a mountain of failures to be able to get lift off. The failures teach them the gold that they need. The failures help them to refine. Now, what we're doing on our alcohol freedom journey is we are creating the new identity. We are creating the version of ourselves that already exists in us. We're tapping into her, and we are almost like the sculptors, and we are molding ourselves to become, to be, to show up as that version of us. And that version of us is built on many, many failures. I have had thousands and thousands of failures and day one attempts, and they used to really frustrate me. And I felt like I was banging my head against a brick wall thinking, why can't I just get this? Why can't I just stay sober? Why can't I just stop drinking? And for me, it was a nightly glass of wine that turned into a nightly bottle of wine, sometimes more at weekends. And on the outside, you wouldn't know anything was wrong. I wasn't falling all over the place. I was never drunk. But it was this slow, steady habit that was taking my energy, taking my money, taking my time, taking me, my soul. And it didn't feel good. And so I had thousands of failures. So if we want to create on-track days, on-track success, we have to be okay with failures. Embrace the failures. Embrace the failures. And when we move through the failures, we can look back one day and we can see just how far we've come. So failure, it's not the end, it's feedback. Now, the L of flop stands for lessons. Now, every wobble shows you what needs support. Every wobble shows you what needs support. So in the failures, we receive our lessons. What did we learn from that flop, from that self-sabotage, from that, wobble off track, whatever you want to call it? What were the lessons? And it usually, it highlights holes in the plan. Maybe you didn't have a plan. Maybe you were just winging it and hoping you wouldn't drink. So it's really important that we have a plan in place, setting ourselves up, supporting our nervous system, showing our body, teaching our brain, this is what we do now. Being okay if it doesn't go right, if it doesn't go the way you wanted it to. So every wobble shows you what needs support. And so that leads us into the O, into the opportunity that we can mend the holes in the boat, those leaky holes that are letting the water in as we're trying to travel from Pain Island to Pleasure Island, to creating the lifestyle that we actually want to be living. So opportunity, every flop is a chance to begin again. And honestly, if you've wobbled off track, it doesn't matter. The actual most crucial thing is to see how swiftly can you get back on track again. If you want help with this, send me a message. I've got free tools and resources, and also I love to connect and learn more about people in this group and what's needed. If you have any questions, if you have any topics you'd love me to talk about, let me know. So understand every opportunity, every flop is an opportunity to start again. Think of a little baby learning to walk, a little toddler, and it's crawling around, it's stretching up, and one day it's standing, it's taking a few steps, and then, it falls over. And it just gets up automatically and tries again, because obviously it's not going to want to crawl around for the rest of its life. We naturally want to grow. Our soul naturally wants to grow. But what happens is we resist, especially if it's something like quitting drinking, if we associate drinking with feeling fun, if we think life is going to be dull and boring without it, of course we're going to resist. So we have to actually shift our perspective, shift the way that we see things, and actually allow ourselves to try things. And to experiment and to learn how to do life. This is where we learn off each other. And the P, finally, the P is practice. Practice, practice, practice. It's all practice. So sobriety, alcohol freedom, whatever you want to call it, it's the practice of skills, skill sets, different skills that we need to learn to live life without alcohol, or live life without reaching for that unalloyed choice. So alcohol freedom is a daily practice, and it's not about perfection. It's being okay with messy, forward, imperfect action. So that's flop. So quick recap, you need to practice catching the drift. Notice when you're starting to lose focus, you're getting caught up in the day, you're getting caught up in distraction. Before you know it, maybe you have some massive cravings. Have you eaten? Have you taken care of yourself? Have you drunk some water? Have you had sufficient sleep? Do you need to connect with someone? What do you need? Do you need to go for a walk in nature? Do you just need 5 minutes to breathe? It's the power of the little things. These little things help us to stay on track. So catch the drift, and when you notice you're drifting, interrupt that with the flop tool. Think about, what is it I actually need? If you have flopped, if you have wobbled off track, it's okay. How swiftly can you get back? So be okay with failure. Know that you're going to receive your lessons. Know that every flop is an opportunity to try again, to begin again, and keep on keeping on. Keep practicing, keep doing it, keep showing up every day. Be open to learning. Be open to trying things. Be open to stretching yourself a little bit more each day. If you have any questions about this, drop them below or feel free to reach out and send me a private message. Keep going with the challenge. I'm loving it. We've literally only just started, just on Monday, so you can catch up. Everything is available until 5th of October, so make sure you're following along, interacting, posting, sharing. I love seeing what you're up to, because it helps me too. It gives me ideas and inspiration and helps me with what to share in this group. Sending lots of love, gorgeous souls. Keep on keeping on, keep shining, keep being amazing. You've totally got this. See you all soon.